The Board of Licensed Dietitian meeting is convening at 9:04 a.m. on October 4th, 2023 at the Health Licensing Office in Salem by telephone conference call. I will now call roll. Brogdon, here. Yoker?
Here.
Connell?
There is no Connell.
Oops,
Cagle.
Offeld?
Here.
Cagle?
Here.
Lowe?
Here.
Pavlinek?
Sorry, present.
Members, when you wish to speak, please state your last name for the record. For the record, public members calling to the public phone line are asked to email April Fleming, April.Fleming at dhsoha.state.or.us and provide your first and last name. Public and interested parties' feedback may be heard during the public and interested parties' feedback period, if indicated on the agenda. Everyone is asked to use appropriate language, manners, and protocols in conducting board business. This meeting is now called to order.
Hi, good morning, everybody, Madam Chair, members of the board, and the public. For clarification, for any public members that are going to be joining us today, please email carrie.edwards@oha.oregon.gov.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay.
Okay. So let's look at the agenda for today, and our first order of business is approval of agenda. Anybody who would like to make a motion?
Euchre, I move we approve.
Second,
Pavlinek, second.
in favor, I'm going to do the roll call. Brogdon, aye. Yoker?
Aye.
Offeld?
Aye.
Cagle?
Aye.
Pavlinek?
Aye.
The motion has been carried. Robert, would you please take on from here in regards to our next items on the agenda?
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is to introduce a new board member, Danica Ofelt. Good morning, Danica. Welcome, and thank you.
Good morning.
Would you take a moment to introduce yourself to the board, please?
Hi, I'm Danica Ofeld. I am newly here. I have a private practice and I'm excited to join the board.
Excellent. Thank you. Madam Chair and members of the board, if everybody would go around, starting with the chair, and introduce yourselves, please.
My name is Yulia Brogdon, and I am dietitian in private practice in Oregon. It's been a great pleasure to serve here on the board.
Jerry?
I'm Jerry Euchre, and I'm an endocrinologist in East Portland, and I've been practicing for over 40 years.
Russ?
I'm Russ Cagle. I'm an athletic trainer, retired, professor emeritus from Willamette University in Health and Sciences.
Sarah?
Good morning. I'm Sarah Lowe. I'm the nutrition consultant for the Oregon Youth Authority for the state of Oregon.
Excellent. And Jesse?
Good morning. I'm a retired manager at Oregon Health and Science University Healthcare. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian in the state, and I'm now a adjunct at OHSU and teach at Clackamas Community College.
Thank you. And Danica, my name is Bob Bothwell, and I'm currently serving as the interim chair here at the Health Licensing Office. And this morning you met Ann Thompson, who's the policy analyst with us. April is not with us right now. We do have Carrie Edwards. If you want to pop on and say hello, Carrie.
Hi, this is Carrie Edwards. I have taken over some of the duties for April, so I will likely be contacting you guys for board meetings.
And also online, we have Tina Russell, who's our licensing manager. She may be tied up and busy, so I don't know if she'll pop on or not. Say hello.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is Tina Russell, licensing manager. Thank you.
Another favorite is Trampus Shuck, who just popped on the screen. He's our regulatory manager.
Hello, everyone. I'm Trampus Shuck. I'm the interim regulatory manager, and I'll be talking about the regulatory board report later, and then we'll have some stuff also later. So we'll be talking more.
And maybe a new face or unfamiliar would be our Assistant Attorney General, Heather Fogelsong, is here.
Good morning. My name is Heather. I work with the Department of Justice. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. All right. Moving on then, if the chair is okay. The next item for board action would be the 2024 meeting dates. Everybody has had an opportunity to look. It looks like 9 a.m. April 17 and 9 a.m. October 9 are dates. If I can get the chair and the board members to take a look at the calendar, their calendars, and see if they're available those dates.
Bragdorf, I am available on both dates. Anybody else? Any concerns about these dates?
September, what was the date again? September,
October 9.
October 9th? Fine. Thank you.
Jesse. Jesse has her hand up. Yes.
I do. I can make it. It is I'm trying to get my hand down. It's the day after our annual meeting in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'll be coming home the day before. I'll plan on coming home the day before, but in case some of the other dietitians hadn't noticed when Fancy was in 2024 is why I bring it up.
Is that April or October?
I'm sorry, October.
Okay.
Always October. Yeah, sorry, Bob. Make an assumption there. But I'll just plan my trip around coming home. So it's more of an FYI.
Thank you, Jesse. Any other concerns?
This is Sarah Lowe. Those are fine for me.
Thank you, Sarah. If there are no other questions about it, anybody would like to make a motion to approve these dates?
I make a motion. Can we repeat the dates? Okay, go.
April 17th at 9 a.m. and October 9th at 9 a.m. Anybody second?
Euchre second.
A motion has been made and second, and I'll call the roll. Bragdorf, aye. Euchre?
Aye.
Offold?
Aye.
Kegel?
Aye.
Lowe?
Aye.
Kavlinek?
Aye.
Motion made has been carried.
Okay, moving right along. Next item for board action is chair and vice chair for 2024. Currently, Yulia has served as chair and Russ has served as vice chair during 2023 of the Board of Licensed Dietitians. The board must nominate and elect a chair and vice chair for 2024. So currently, Yulia is in a second term as a board member and currently as chair, and Julia's term expires April 20th, 2025 and cannot reappoint. Jesse Pavlinak is in a first term and that term expires June 29, 2026 and can reappoint. Sarah Lowe is in first term. It expires 10/17 of 2023 and can reappoint. Danica is in her first term, and it expires March 28, 2027, and can reappoint. Gerald Euchre is in her first term. It expires 10/17 of 2023 and can reappoint. Russ Cagle is in his second term, expires May 31 of 2025 and cannot reappoint. And we do have a vacant public member. So I know I gave a lot of information. Julia will be around for 2024, so she can serve the entire year if elected, and anybody else who is interested or nominated looks like they'll fit for the entire year of 2024.
Jessica, Jesse Pavlinik.
I'd like the cub, but I didn't get it. Just a point of order, does the vice chair automatically move to the chair, or is it, or how does that work in this organization?
So,
Please, thank you.
Yes, no problem. This is Bob. We are going to actually elect both.
Okay.
Are there any nominations for 2024 chair and vice chair? Mr. Bragdorf, I'm happy to continue serving, but I'm open to other nominations if somebody else would be interested in either of the roles. Pavlinik?
I would be interested in vice chair if I'm allowed to self-nominate, which it seems like that's what we're doing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pavlinik. Any discussion?
So this is Bob. What we'll need is a nomination for chair and one for vice chair, and then a second, and then a roll call vote.
Thank you. Who would like to make a motion?
This is Sarah Lowe. I'll make a motion to nominate Yulia for chair and Jesse for vice chair.
Any second?
I'll second that. Russ Cagle.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded. I'm going to call the roll. Bragdorf, aye. Euchre?
Aye.
Offeld?
Aye.
Cagle?
Aye.
Lowe?
Aye.
Pavlinik?
Aye.
Motion has been made and carried. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Director's report?
Yes. So we did have, if you're following on your screen on slide 13, the status of the board members, but I just went through that as we went ahead and elected a new chair and vice chair. So I will skip that and get right into the statistical reports and fiscal reports.
Hey, Bob, I'm sorry to apologize. If I could get my name spelt correctly, it'd be nice. It's I-E. I don't have the voice spelling. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, not a problem.
Thank you.
Where was that at? I'm sorry.
Current board members, Jesse
Oh,
Pavlinik.
gotcha.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Looks like Derek is on here and he'll fix that. And I will discuss with him later. So licenses issued in fiscal year 2023. In the fourth quarter, we issued 70 licenses, and fiscal year quarter one of 2024, which is what we're in now, 87 licenses were issued. So it looks like it's a growing board. On slide 17, quarter one of 2024, we had 247 licenses renewed online and 28 by paper, which is good. And licenses by age and gender, as you can see on slide 18, it's growing in popularity in folks that are in their 20s and 30s. Licensing trends, and again, it's an ever-growing field. Currently, we're at a total of 1,320 licenses in Q1 of 2024. Board of Licensed Dietitians financials, at least in 2023, beginning cash balance of $236,000, excuse me, $236,730. Revenue expenditure or revenue of 103,497, expenditures of 110,906. Net operations looks like it dropped to a negative, and I'm not sure those that's correct, but it shows that operations was 7,409. I'm not used to reading cash numbers, sorry. With an ending cash balance of fiscal year 2023 of $229,321.
That's Bragg.
Currently,
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
yes.
May I ask a question? How does these balances compare to what we typically need to keep on our balances? And in regard to how that reflect to the cost of the license, do we need to lower cost, increase cost?
Well, looks like we're running about par. So you see through 2020, 21, and 22, beginning cash balances 223,000, 219, 229, and then the ending cash balance of 219, 229, and 236. So, we're right in the ballpark of where we break even. And in 2024, the fiscal year currently, it looks grim, but as we move, we're in the first quarter, so the first 4 months, and as you can see,
Sorry about that. I see Jesse has a question.
Okay, Jesse?
We cannot hear you, Jesse.
I know my mute button's clear up there and my mouse was giving me trouble. I was going to let Bob finish. But I do have just a question about the Oregon Health Authority policy around board. So thank you.
Okay. So, okay, thanks. Q1 of 2024, it may look grim, but we're in the first quarter. So this net operation and expenditures will change.
Kegel, I have a concern as to the acceleration of your increase in licensures. Does not seem to be equating to the amount of revenue coming in. You see, the revenue seems to be kind of flat. So if you get any big problems coming up, because your increase in licensures is going to be inevitable.
Right. Well, you see the revenue is climbing. In 2020, it was at 70,000. 2021 was 74. 2020 was at 89. 2023 ended at 103. Currently, it's 19, but it'll continue to grow as we move in through fiscal year 2024.
Cash balance.
I'm sorry?
I was referring to the cash balance.
I guess I don't understand your question on that. So what I'll do is I'll have the fiscal analyst that prepares these for us take a quick second look at them to make sure that they're reflecting accurately.
Okay, so my main concern is if you have a legal problem, do you have enough cash balance to offset?
Well, that's a good question.
Depends on how bad it gets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a fair question, and Anne made a valid point. It depends. Fortunately, how the office is structured, if any board goes into the negative, it gets supplemented by other boards, and then it builds, it climbs it. Let me pick up a different phrase. As the cash balances continue moving forward and increase, it will go from that negative back into a positive. But with this board, fortunately, there haven't been very large cases. But your point is taken, Russ.
Thank
And
you.
then, okay, Jesse, in your question.
It kind of goes along with Russ and with Yulia. Does the Oregon Health Authority have a percentage of income that needs to be held in reserve for such things such as a legal issue or something like that? Is there some kind of policy around that? How much cash we need to have on compared to our how much cash, percentage, whatever. I'm from
Right.
organizations that you have to have, 25 or 50% of your revenue as kind of in the bank.
So that's a great question, and I'm not quite sure of the answer, but
Yeah.
I don't think that we're required to have a surplus. We attempt to keep it balanced. We don't want to look like we're hoarding money or trying to make a huge profit for the board. So this is a public record. So if cash balance, beginning cash balance and ending cash balance is close to the same, it appropriately shows that we're just collecting enough in license fees and having appropriate amount of expenditures to have almost break even.
Okay. Thank you.
Anne's been a policy analyst
Sorry.
for this board, so she wants to jump in here real quick.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something to what Bob said, which was totally correct. The way our structure is, we can take care of boards that go into the negative. We have a board right now that I think is $400,000 in the hole, and they continue to operate. And our sexual offense treatment board was sunk into the red deeply by a case that was appealed all the way to the Oregon Supreme Court. And they have finally, I've been here 10 years, they finally went into the black like last quarter, digging their way out of that. So there is no required minimum. There is an operational safety net for boards. That's part of how we work. And if the worst happens and you went into the negative, we could get you by and watch you slowly climb back into the positive. So is that helpful? Everybody with a question?
Yeah, thank you, Anne.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sorry, Bob.
Not a problem.
Just had to get in there.
Not a problem. Good questions. All right. So you can see at the bottom of slide 20, for the board members that have been with us for a couple of years, this is different, but this actually goes to show the difference in assessment throughout the last couple of years. So 1.38% of a shared assessment, which covers salaries, rent, the power bill, operational fees that the health authority charges HLO. And so as you can see, it's slowly increasing as expenses and life in general continue to increase, i.e. rents and energy costs. Small board assessment, it doesn't fluctuate too much for this board, from 9.92%, 9.78, and 9.91%. And the change between 23 and 24 is 6.89, but that will decrease as 2024 continues on since we're in the first quarter. So that percentage will decrease down to the 1% area. Any additional questions for me that I can try to answer? Okay. Moving on to the regulatory report, Trampus.
Hello, everybody. So as you can see on the regulatory report, we have 2 open cases that are currently still on the books as open. Over the last couple of biennium, we've actually only received 4 cases total for your group. So that's a relatively low number. So that's good. But like I said, we have 2 currently open cases. The 2023 case, I believe is the case that we're going to be looking at in executive session today. So like I said, these cases are cases that are considered open in our system. One of them is still currently being investigated. That's the 2022 case, and one is going to be presented to the board in executive session, which is the 2023 cases. If you look over and see the complaints by type, we have 1 that was a licensing concern, and 2 are and 3 of them were services provided. Licensing concerns are typically somebody that may be advertising as a licensed dietitian or that doesn't have a license, or maybe is being alleged that they practice under that scope, or could just be that they're practicing with an inactive license. So I'm not sure what that one was, but and then the services provided, that kind of could be a lot of different things. So and you can see that where you're split, you don't get a lot of anonymous complaints, but of the complaints that we did receive, 2 were directly from the clients themselves, and 2 were from a third party of some sort. Could be another provider, or could be a family member or something like that, just somebody other than them. Anybody have any questions about this report or investigations overall in general?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't hear you, Bob.
I guess I should unmute myself. I apologize. So I'm gonna, I need to, after we read into executive session, HLO needs to take a quick break for a little bit of a transition. I have another meeting that I have to attend. So I'm going to log off, and then Ann is going to sign back on and finish up the meeting. So Chair, if you are ready to read us into executive session, and then give us a 5-minute break.
Okay, and at this time we ask I don't have the script, so if somebody needs to correct me, please do. But at this time we ask the public members to disconnect from the phone lines. We're going to go into executive session, which is only among the board's members, and it is 9:33 a.m. Do you have a script?
So
okay,
I do have the script for you, and what is going to happen is we do have, looks like, 1 public member, Kimberly Queen, I think is her name.
That's correct.
Okay, Kimberly, we're going to enter an executive session, and we're going to read a script, and it should take maybe 40 minutes for us to get into executive session, discuss this case, and come back.
I will go ahead and log off. Thank you.
Okay, well, I was going to let you know that you don't have to. We can move you into another room, and or the board members get moved into another room. Anyway, we separate the 2, so you don't have to log off.
Thank you. I have another meeting I have to go to. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Okay, So, are we ready, Nathan, for me to read?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yes. And then, so after I read this, we'll go into, have a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Entering into executive session, the Board of Licensed Dietitians will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602F and ORS 676.595 for the purpose of considering information or records exempt from public disclosure at 9:34 a.m. on October 4, 2023. Representatives of the news media shall be allowed to attend executive session by MS Teams, and we move to a separate breakout and will be moved to separate breakout room shortly. Are there any representatives of the news media on the public line? Taking another quick look, it doesn't appear so. No. Recognizing there's no news media in attendance, the public phone line will be muted for the duration of the executive session. We will return to open session before taking any final action or making any final decisions. It is estimated the board will return to public session at 9:50 a.m. Please be aware that this is possible, that it is possible that the board's executive session will last longer than 9:50 a.m. If the public has any questions about whether the board is still in executive session, then the public can contact Carrie Edwards at carrie.edwards@oha.oregon.gov. We are now in executive session.